I got this recommendation from a friend of mine. It's called Aggretsuko. It's about a humble office worker who hates her job and is abused by her boss, has very annoying coworkers, and has a secret hobby singing death metal as a way to cope with her frustrations. It's an anime with a very cute style, so the inner rage that this show has is funnier because of the style. The tone and the style really work with the art style, which I really like the main character. I really like people like her. I guess because I'm the opposite personality. I tend to like people who at least appear calmer. Though, like I said, there is an inner rage to this that I personally very much like. And it's similar to, because I loved Angela Anaconda, which had a very similar rage. And there's also an animatic that got popular online, Becky Prim. It's really similar to that in terms of tone and style. It's probably closer to Becky Prim than Angela Anaconda. But either way, these are 15-minute episodes, and I feel like everybody's worked a crappy job at least once, had an abusive boss, and so I can see this being very, very cathartic. It is a lot of fun to watch. I never really dealt with anything quite to the extent that she does, but good lord, some of the crappy retail jobs I've done. So I think the animals, I can actually see this being one individual's, it does come across as a singular point of course, there's always a team behind making a good show, but this does feel like there's a single vision behind it, and how this one person sees the world and sees an office life, because all the coworkers are very different kinds of annoying. You get the male ass kisser, you get the female ass kisser, which work in very different ways. You get the guy ass kisser, just he compliments the boss. It's like, oh, you're so great, but then the female acts a little flirtatious as a defense mechanism. With the boss, he's a literal chauvinistic pig. Haven't heard that phrase in a long time. But for some reason, at least I've only seen the first 2 episodes so far, and with that particular character, it comes across that he's got his own anger going on. He's taking it out on others. Something about the energy of that character, the way the voices, the delivery, and the animation, like he's lazy. The character is lazy, is always golfing, and yet constantly thinks he deserves a vacation. I think a lot of us know someone like that. But there is a performance, but for some reason I feel like with that character you could get more depth, and I feel like with a lot of these characters you're gonna see more of the inner sides to it. Because I'm very, very curious to see that. There's you get these 2 confident, more successful, higher level women who the main characters look up to, but then you see that they're putting on their own front, even though they are confident and successful. I'm very excited to see more of them. I hope they become friends, because they seem like they'd work off each other very well. Because the confident, successful women admire the main character and her friends too, for their personalities and how kind they are, and responsible. She's the second episode, the main character Retsuko, everyone very condescendingly calls her responsible in a way that's like, oh, you're boring, you're always gonna do the right thing, oh, you're so good, you'd never stray. So that's what she sings her death metal about. Apparently this show's getting more popular within the death metal community. But it is very fun. You get, oh, and I like how they play social media in this too, because actually for the longest time I did not like shows and movies that felt a little too modern. Shows that used Google, because I thought when Twilight, she's in Twilight when Bella's doing a Google search, I never liked stuff like that, because I always felt sucked out of the world when that happened. But for some reason, I think it goes to show how much more social media has become part of our lives. I like it here because there's its own tropes. There's one character who absolutely hates the female ass kisser, Tsunoda. It always checks her social media and it identifies patterns and gets this intense, soul-consuming hatred for this character, which is really funny, because you can see how you can get consumed with hatred or jealousy for this for someone. You just want to stalk their lives and see, okay, well, what's the deal with that person? What is this all about? So much fun there. I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm really excited to see how this show handles all these different kinds of characters, because we've seen workplace comedies before, but this feels like it's got a very fresh new spin to it. So if you've got inner rage, I'd say check this show out. It's a lot of fun.